Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. Yo, what's up, Davita? Welcome. I'm gonna be a star. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Yo, what's up, Ryder? For anybody who doesn't know, I'm a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional, and our mission is to help millions of people achieve financial literacy. Hit me with your questions. Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate that. Are there any topics that you guys have questions on? I can just start rattling off some information, but if you have specific questions, that always helps. And we do have a watch party coming up in less than an hour. Yo, Star, thank you so much for the YouTube sub. Hey, this is an Omnidroid. Thank you so much. Wait, Star, did you unsubscribe and then subscribe again? Is that what just happened? How did you grow so much beard? Panda, I got lucky. If it all fell out up here, it all came out of my face. I do take good care of it though. My beard is softer than you may imagine. Well, I'm not that lucky. Do you have a full head of hair though, Chess? That's the question. Do you have a full head of hair? What are your thoughts on transitioning to the mortuary profession? I'm looking for a profession that is more resistant to automation and more people focused. Well, for the reasons you said, that's probably a good field. I just don't know that I could deal in death that much. That might be tough. No, just getting bald like stage three. Yeah, I feel that. With a beard, you have to grow it out, go through a homeless phase, and then beyond it. Every time you go to the next phase with a beard, you got to go through a homeless phase. There is no doubt about it. NFL and countries rule. Yes, I am Christian. I subbed this channel for some reason. I don't remember why though. Well, maybe you were looking for financial. Man, I'm sorry about that, NFL. For some reason, Nightbot is very aggressive. Let me see if I can fix that right now. Let me see if I can fix how aggressive Nightbot is. All right, I took off that one. No, he was a political like commentator, Panda. There we go. I got rid of those. I can't even tell if this is my YouTube or my. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. I apologize for that, NFL. But yes. Let's go. I did not do that to you, just so you know, and I just changed them. I love Jesus as well. I love Jesus as well. I mean, he got shot, Panda. I don't know what details to give you, but he was hosting an event at a university, and he got shot. My Thanksgiving was amazing. We did a New York strip roast. It was awesome. We are all children of God, Eduardo. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm the only here now. What does that mean, De Blanc? DC Blanc? So who is he? Some definition or summary of him? Why someone... I mean, he was a political commentator. I guess you could say he was on the conservative side. Yeah, that's true, Lucy. I can't really give you a great synopsis. We don't really know the true reason he was shot. We can assume it, but we don't know. And went down to one. I misspelled for a second. Oh, okay. DC, I don't... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have a lot of people in here, but even if it's just one person, I just want to help people. So if it's one person, great. If it's 100 people, great. If it's 10,000, great. I just want to help people. Hey, thanks, Blanc. How can I manage those physics and math syllabus? It's 190 chapters, bro. You focus on one thing at a time, Rahman. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Beard of knowledge. Let's go. Now, I can only find videos of him getting people. That's why I'm asking. Lucy apps I searched, but don't understand. He said some politics stuff. Uh, there's really no good reason to shoot somebody like that unless they're actively harming people. So I don't really know that you could get your full answer, Panda. Yeah, elephant. We eat elephant. Good for you doing the Lord's work. Always better to give than receive. Appreciate that, Eduardo. Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, I worked at Vanguard for over 13 years, and I quit my job to change the world and help millions of people achieve financial literacy. Hey, this is a great question, Lucy. So before you get into stocks, before we start investing, that's step number 4 out of 5 steps. The first step is a budget. The second step is building an emergency fund. You can also pay off debt during that step. Then you need to build goals. So when you're investing in stocks, you need to have an allocation that makes sense based on your time horizon and risk tolerance. Sorry guys, I'm also a little bit sick. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I have to speak for 12 hours this weekend too, so we'll see how that goes. But you also need to think about what sort of risk you want to take on. Are you trying to buy a handful of individual stocks? Do you want to buy a sector like ETF? Do you want to buy the whole market? Right? I have my rules, but I'd have to know more about you to be able to start guiding you down that path. Is it like suppressing the freedom of speech? I mean, I don't know if that was their actual intent to curb his freedom of speech. I think they just wanted him gone. I would like to invest in marrying. I mean, I don't know how to do that. Brian, I wouldn't necessarily worry about ethnicity. Go be friends with everybody. Go be friends with everybody without any expectations. And if it works out, you'll know. You guys will both know. What do you usually talk about? Then I'll have more questions, to be honest. Just YouTube scrolling, saw you, trusted you easily, weirdly. All right, so for anybody new, I'm a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional. I worked at Vanguard for over 13 years, and I quit my job to help millions of people achieve financial literacy. So you can ask me anything, DC, but I'm a free financial advisor. Okay, I like that. What's your opinion on risk? To put it simple, I don't like gambling in real life, but I could be a risk taker if I see the odds looking good. You know what I mean? Okay, so Lucy, if you look historically, and there's no guarantee that this will continue, please understand that. But historically, the stock market has averaged about 10% for the last 90 plus years. Right? So I don't play chess very often, but I have played. So it's been up. Even though its average has been 10%, we've had years where it's lost 30, 40 plus percent. So risk is your ability to stomach that volatility, not make a mistake like selling out, potentially buying more. But the main thing for me, Lucy, when I buy stocks, and this is me, this is not everybody, I'm buying stocks for the next 30 years. I'm not buying stocks for the next 3 days, 3 weeks. I am scoring 230 plus out of 300 in my weekly tests, but sometimes I feel like everyone is doing better than me. That's why I feel so sad these days. So Rahman, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is how I think about life. What was the thing that made you the most distraught on November 28th, 2024? Or 2023? Or 2021? The reason I ask you is the stuff you worry about today doesn't generally matter a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. So things like that. I see gambling is a great thing. When you win, you get 200%, but when you lose just the amount you lose. So yeah, all on red. Panda's trying to get people to go broke. Is it better to invest in gold than to leave the money in a bank account for savings? Which is better, gold or ETFs? Wow, singing bird. This is a difficult question. Better is relative. So gold is going to have like fluctuation in price, whereas leaving it in the bank, it's not. Gold is generally a retainer of value, right? I believe the same amount of ounces of gold today that it takes to buy a house is the same amount of gold that it took to buy a house like 90 plus years ago. Maybe like 100 years ago. 100 plus years ago. I do some trading like day trading. Things is I use data science to find a few stocks to pick and use logic to sell. Make $10 a day. All right. So if you're going to do individual stocks, you have to measure your gains versus the overall market. And then if you did beat the market, you have to divide it by the amount of hours that you put in to see if it was worth your time. Very helpful, my man. I'll sub and stay a bit, but that leads me to ask now, what stocks is a good bet to invest in? Well, when you say a good bet, Lucy, there's, I personally believe if you're buying individual stocks, you're looking for needles. Whereas the US stock market or the world stock market is a haystack. I don't know what needles are going to do, but I believe in the future, 30 years from now, the whole haystack is going to be worth a lot more. So I buy the whole haystack. Love you for that. You're doing good work. Never invested really except random situations where I saw something that will do well, like Tesla. I do silver. Okay. Clement, yeah, you can get advice. Gold is good, but stocks get more returns, and if you could buy gold without tax, you buy. Yeah, so I don't own any physical gold, like on me, but I do have a gold and silver physical ETF. It's not much, but I own it. What would you do in my shoes? I'm moving into my in-laws because I couldn't save money while paying $2,000 rent and a car note of $700 plus everything else I want to save money for a rainy day. Yeah, Eduardo, this is a great question. I actually like moving in with your in-paying. Make sure that you start saving that as well. But it's all about stacking cash while you're living with the in-laws. Silver based on tech AI and such, needing silver. Well, silver and gold have intrinsic value. Okay, thanks, sir. I feel like I entered in wrong live session. I should go to study because all of you guys are older than me. I'm 17. Hey, Rahman, we can, the earlier you think about this stuff, the better. That's cool if you want to go now. If you don't feel this is a conversation for you, I do. But if you don't, come back. Don't wait so long. Don't wait a long time. No, I did the project for my coal project. It's like 85 and made just $10 for 3 days. So I deleted the code, and my professor said, trash the code because they don't like trading. All right, that's very interesting. What was the 5 steps in your guide, and can you repeat them again? Yeah, absolutely. So it's an acronym. Begin. Budget, emergency fund, goals, investing and saving, and navigating your life changes. Begin. I got you, Eduardo. I got you. Let's see here. You're a guest at any in-laws early on. Is it like cars important in USA? Yeah, Panda. We are a gigantic country, and in most places you need a car to get around. Endless Realms. Hey, man. Is keeping my money as USD a good idea? I'm not from USA, so USD is not bad currency to protect your money from inflation in here. Or should I buy like all gold? I don't have accounts. Man, this is tough. So just owning USD doesn't do anything for inflation, right? It is the dollar. As they print more dollars, you will lose value inflationary. Generally, people get out of the currency if they want to protect against inflation. Advice guy, my eye is red. What did you do? Hindu Dharma. Okay. Begin. Need money and need job. Yeah, that's true. You gotta have a job generally. I'm making 100K a year and want to buy a nice used car. How much should I spend on one? Psych. What I'm gonna tell you to do is start saving money now so you can buy a car cash. I don't necessarily care how much you spend, but the lower you could spend on a used car, the better. Grab yourself an old Honda or an old Toyota and then ride that thing into the ground. A nice used car is still a depreciating asset, but tell me a little bit more about the desire to own a nice used car. Well, do you know any MBA degree on finance I could pursue? What do you mean, do I know any? I mean, there's a bunch of schools with MBAs. Can you go just a little into the setting goals step? What would that be realistically? Something everyone can do. Yes. Okay. So before you can invest your money, you have to know what it's for. So let's just say you do your budget, your emergency fund is filled up, and you have $600, $700, $1,000, whatever it is, left over, $10 left over, whatever it is. You have to have a goal. So you have this amount of money. Let's just call it $100. You're going to throw 30 of it towards retirement, or maybe 50 of it towards retirement, 30 of it towards a down payment for a house, and 20 towards a car. But what you need is a time horizon. Your retirement goal isn't going to be for 40 years. Your house goal might be 10 years from now. Your car goal might be 5 years from now. So you have to understand your time horizon and risk tolerance for each goal. For retirement, you might be super aggressive, so you're going to invest one way. For your home, you're not really aggressive at all, so you're not going to invest that same way. Same thing with a car. Can we use the debt to pay less tax on salary? What debt, Panda? Yeah, I will not have a car note ever again. That's what I'm talking about, Eduardo. Stay at your in-laws and really set yourself up for the future, brother. Get that cash. The main thing right now, it's not necessarily, you want to save as much as you can, but the most is about, the biggest part is actually setting up good habits for yourself. I know there is a finance MBA, but in specific, any recommendation like to become, a finance degree works. If you could find one in personal finance, that could help. That's really what I do. You like God? I love God. YT Baller Blocks. Endless Realms. So buy all gold instead of USD. I would not go that far. I don't have access to USA stock market, by the way, and I prefer investing in US. Yeah, this is not, I can't tell you specifically to go buy all of anything or nothing of something else. You have to understand what it's doing in your portfolio and why. Yo, brother. Good to see you. Hit you with a like. What's for dinner? Tonight, we'll have some more New York strip I'm sorry, New York roast. New York strip roast. That's what's going on today, affiliated. Good to see you too, brother. Here in India, there's a guy who sent 100 message every day to people who want to invest to buy a stock and got commission. He got a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, that could work. You got to get enough people to respond. Hopefully you're not swindling them, you know? Like getting a loan for a car and paying it so you don't need to pay taxes. Are you talking about using debt? Leveraging debt is something different. I don't really know how far to go, but that's what people call using other people's money. Inflation is huge here. It's slowed down, but it was crazy for a while. Am I stable enough right now to take on a structured settlement from JG Wentworth, 877 cash now? I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. I apologize. Whilst discussing stocks, would you rather put all your eggs in one basket or invest in multiple stocks? Sounds like a good dinner. It is a great dinner. They were very cheap on sale for Thanksgiving. Okay, so Lucy, I personally don't like buying individual stocks. When you buy individual stocks, you are hoping for the best. I have no idea what any individual company is going to do for the next 30 years, but I believe the overall stock market is going to be significantly higher 30 years from now. So for me, I like buying more broad-based, diversified index type investing as opposed to individual stocks. It's a Porsche 997 Carrera S Coupe, and it's sitting around 25, 30, 100K a year. Really want it, and I think I could afford it, but I'm scared about like the extras. Yeah, psych. That is a very expensive vehicle. So I'm sorry, a very expensive maintenance vehicle. So I don't know that I would look into that. It's not that your money is great, but why would you spend it on that? That car is not going to bring you much joy. You're going to drive it for 30 minutes to an hour per day, and that's it. It's not worth the amount of money you're going to spend. A car is just to get you from point A to point B. To be honest, I'm working for myself this year, and I wasn't really looking work. It just came to me through word of mouth, and it just wasn't consistent at times and had no money saved. All right. I saw a video on YouTube said one guy is on 13 million debt and he's making 300K on all his property, pay the bank 130, keep the rest. His property value is 30 mil. Yes, Panda, that is what people do. The other thing that nobody really talks about is hold on a second. Eventually the debt has to be paid. At some point, the debt has to be paid. So generally it's after you die, and then now you're leaving your estate with all that. So, but people do leverage debt to make money. Let's see here. There should be broke. I'm assuming no broke woman anywhere. What a waste. I'm very confused. Yeah, not to be mean, but my initial thought about the guy from India was just scamming people. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Actually, advice, man. Gives you something to think about. Yes, sir. Let me know if you when you got more questions, Lucy. We'll go over stuff. People always think about stock savings. No one says how to make more money legally, like they say business. But what about 9 to 5? No one say how to make more on 9 to 5. Making more on your 9 to 5. I mean, it's investing, right? And then you could start a side hustle if you really want to increase your income. But you got to get your money working for you, you know? What about land, property? I think those are great investments for some people. I don't want to be... What's up, F1? I don't like being a landlord. I do have a rental, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan. If I could go back, I would have taken that same money and invested it in something else. You only hear the success stories on that. People don't brag online when being over leveraged goes wrong. 100%. 100%. It's not to say there aren't people out there who are making a killing. Their cash flow is great. They're living the life they want to live. There's a lot of people who get torn up from doing leveraged. 2, I am Indian, and yeah, scammer makes our lives bad. That's how here. I'm sorry about that. Keep scrolling, little bro. I have a friend who keeps asking me for money, and now he owes me like $1,100. He asks small amounts like You can definitely keep scrolling, but you should never give money to anybody and expect it back. Never hand somebody money and expect you're going to get paid back. Never. I definitely more fond of buying some land and build a home somewhere. Yeah, I totally get that, Eduardo. For myself, I would love to have a homestead eventually. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Have you seen the YouTuber Caleb Hammer? He does financial breakdowns on people. It really gives a sense of how naive and irresponsible people truly are with their money, even if they make $100,000. So I've never watched a full episode. I've seen some clips, but most people are very they could use more education on their finances and guidance. How long it took to grow that beard, by the way? It looks cool. I'm gonna say 3 years, but I don't really know, and it's actually longer than it looks. See if I lean back. I shaved off like 3-4 inches of it a few months back too, so I don't know. It's really hard. Rent-seeking behavior is inherently quite parasitic. Interesting thoughts, F1. Interesting thoughts. I've never heard it that way. And in what something else would you invest? Singing bird. Are you talking about instead of my the property? Chat is it is. It's popping off today. F1. Do you know Dave Ramsey? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Panda. Same thing. I've never watched like a full episode or anything, but I've seen clips. Yeah, bad habits is what it is, Eduardo. I gave money to my friend and he didn't reply to my message, but it's less than $4, so $4 taught me a valuable lesson. Don't lend to any. Yeah, don't do it. We are all sinners, Eduardo, that's for sure. None of us are perfect. Yes, exactly. They need guidance. You hit it on the nail. Yeah, that's... So the difference between what I'm doing and, I don't know, what anyone else is doing, I'm trying to help people from all the way to 15, they got their first job, all the way to 40, and they don't really know what to do. If you guys want, my Patreon community is free. But in the Patreon community, I go a little more direct in how to invest, what to invest in, things like that. For the streams here, they're for guidance and education. I'll point you in the right direction, but I won't be doing it tomorrow, but generally every Saturday we have a community-only Q&A and market recap session on the Patreon. Okay, so singing. If I could go back, I would have just invested in the market and just let it ride. That'd be like 10 years of market growth at this point. And it's not that the property hasn't appreciated. I've gotten rent from it. I just don't enjoy it. Would like to do buying a house and renting it as Airbnb, but let's see. Yeah. So I did that, Endless. I did that. When we moved to Texas, we rented out our place as a vacation rental, and the vacation rental died. I don't know how to describe it. It did not do well. Let me see here. So I learned that lesson. Just rent it out normally for me. But I understand why vacation rentals make sense. You can lend to people, but don't expect it back. Just the way life is. Yep. I never give money to anybody and expect it back. Never. I really like the Money Guy show on YouTube. Have you heard of them? Okay, so I've heard of the Money Guy show, but I don't know who they look like. Okay, this might sound really weird affiliated, but I don't really watch finance stuff on YouTube unless there's like new information or something is coming out. There's a new rule. I want to learn about it, but I don't generally watch interactions. I've had thousands of them myself, and maybe I could learn something from watching one of them. Like if I'll watch a video of someone's like, hey, I've never thought of this financial thing this way. I'm like, oh, all right. Think like this. You don't need to buy a house where you can use someone else's property and pay the rent. So yeah, buy one for yourself for living in your 40s. All right, Panda. Wow, cool YouTuber has a free Patreon. That's 1 in a million. Let's go, Lucy. Let's go. Yeah, I'm a donation based financial advisor. I have no classes or products to sell anybody. Anybody who wants to give me money, it'll be out of the goodness of their heart. That's it. Is Black Friday a celebration of the Sabbath? Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. Should I? Yikes. Yikes. What was your job? Endless. I have multiple jobs. I started off as an entry level phone rep, just answering phone calls. When I left, I was a high net worth advisor manager, and I had like 10 different jobs in between. Thoughts on crypto investments? I think if someone understands what they're investing in and why, it can be a good investment. It just depends, right? There's no intrinsic value on crypto. It's all hopes and dreams. Like if you have 1 million loan with zero interest, what you do? Well, I don't know how you get that, Panda. That'd be kind of wild. But eventually you have to pay it off. The 0% isn't forever. But if it's forever, hey, what do you think about credit cards and how can I build credit? I haven't had a credit card before. I'm 26, so I don't know if that's good or bad. I would say it's neither good nor bad, Lucy. So you can live in this world without credit. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. But if you're like most people, you will use credit at some point. You'll probably get a mortgage. But otherwise, go and get a credit card. You can use creditcards.com or check your bank or whatever it is. And then make sure you pay your credit card off at the end of every month. Do not carry a balance. They do really good, easily consume reviews of yearly tax changes. Oh, really? The Money Guy show does? Okay. You did software development? No, I did not. No software development, Endless. Do you think there could one day be intrinsic value for crypto assets? I don't know how because it's not tangible. It's not like something you can grab, right? Where it's like gold, silver, or whatever people compare to crypto. There's an actual physical thing you can hold with gold and silver. There's a use case. So I don't really know that there could be. Now, even with all that said about crypto, I have friends who think it's going to go to 20 or 30 million a coin in the next 20, 30 years. Even though there's no intrinsic value and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's possible. Now I have a job. People ask me to get loan or credit card to take my money every day. They call me. Oof. And the sort of gold era of grifting in the States currently, what kind of schemes should one partake in to maximize income? Yikes. None of those, F1. None of those. I'm not an expert in that. Do you invest in the NFT craze whenever that happened? I did not, Lucy. I did not. I am very hesitant to buy anything outside of my normal stuff. So to give you a very specific example, in April of this year, when stocks were tanking, Tesla dropped to like 241. I talked to the stream about it. I talked openly about it that if I were to buy stocks, buying Tesla at 241 then seemed like a good idea. I still didn't buy, even though I'd be up like 70-80% on that because you still don't know, right? Okay, I'll buy. I have some questions. Let me get it. The analyst radio program. Hit me with some questions. And in case you're wondering if I'm a legit analyst for the bite, I'm a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional. I worked at Vanguard for 13 years, and now my goal is to help millions of people master their finances. The thing is, crypto is digital and it's not controlled, so people use it not for a government view transaction. Correct. It is, what do they call it? Decentralized, right? That's why they like it. But I do worry about the government forcing their way into regulating it. I don't know if they can, but I do worry about that. What do you think about AI, by the way? Will the bubble pop? Will it change the world for good? I mean, this is... When you say bubble, I need your parameters. Because could tech companies drop 10, 15% because of something? Maybe. But I would expect a recovery, right? So if you're talking in the short term, anything that you say could happen is possible. Anybody who tells you something can't happen, run away from them. Anything could happen. It's just how do you want to be prepared for that potential thing happening? Hit them with the questions. That's right. Hit me. So how much you make, bro? Like so when I make zero right now. I make zero, Panda. When I was at Vanguard, I think I was like 150, something like that. AI definitely is a bubble, but it's impossible to tell what will happen. Yeah, plus also, when we say bubble, that means the expectation it'll pop. It can finagle and move itself around so that it won't ever actually pop. That's the other thing. Saturated AI stuff. I put 20K in a 401k in 1 year. No savings. Went to stop 401k contributions for a year. Employer matches 2% and dump money into savings. Good or a bad idea? So generally for 401ks, I think you should, at minimum, be getting the company match. And, okay, this is sort of a big answer, analyst, but there's something called asset location. If you can, you want to have all of the account types. You want to have pre-tax, post-tax, and taxable. So, and you generally want to save at least 20% of your pre-tax income. More if you can, but 20%. So, and when you say savings, I'd have to know more about that, right? Your 401k is likely going to grow. If you're talking about putting money into the bank, that's not really going to grow. Wondering if AI will be like crypto, forgotten at some point. I don't think so, Endless. More and more people are going to try and get into automation. I honestly think the future. Panda, we decided not to talk about my our net worth. I have answered that question before, but we've decided not to talk about it. We never know who's watching. But I believe the AI. Have you watched The Incredibles? I watched the first one. Sorry about that. We don't speak about it. Wait, speak about what? But yeah, I think automation is the future, Endless. I don't know what that actually looks like in practice, but I do think it is. Oh, we don't speak about it. The amount. Yeah, I used to answer this question, but it just feels. If people in real life know us, I don't really want like my neighbor to understand what we have going on. If that makes sense. I got you, analyst. Is that specific enough, or is that enough information for you, analyst? Yeah, I mean, every transaction, like how you're paid and all that sort of stuff, is routed. And then now they added the $600 limit. So anytime a transaction happens with 600 or more, it gets reported. So anyway. All right, let's see here. Let me ask a different question. Considering all you said about 20% and location, what percent, if any, would you keep in cash savings in a standard low yield bank savings account? All right. This is I think your checking account, your just base account should have a zero balance. Whatever you decide, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, that is your zero. It stays there. From there, you need an emergency fund, analyst. So I like 12 months of basic living expenses. Not your income. 12 months of basic living expenses. I personally like those in high yield savings or money markets. I know that that's not quite the question you asked, but if you're uncomfortable with high yield savings accounts or money markets, then you could keep it in just a regular bank account. Personal Q. What asset class would you say you have most of your money in? Oh, I'm totally okay with this F1. Stocks. Well, hold on. Yeah, no, I think it's stocks easy. Well, I guess it depends, because if you look at the stocks that I own, they own real estate. It's close. Stocks are real estate. Stocks are real estate. Hey, thanks, analyst. I appreciate you. What are your thoughts on the book Cracking the Code, The Fascinating Truth About American Taxation by Pete Hendrickson? I have never read it, Salty Buckeye. But I did see a guy on YouTube who says income tax is voluntary and we don't have to pay it. I think he's crazy and we go to jail. But it's very interesting to hear those things. Was there ever settlement and or liquidity crunches during your time at Vanguard? And if so, was there any previous or existing solutions that you could think of to help with that issue? Do you mean at Vanguard? We never had those kind of issues. Or I'm sorry, Vanguard, when I was working there, never had those kind of issues. So what if I get all in cash? So if I do $600 cash, what about it then? What do you mean, Panda? Trading your time for money is not income. It is of equal value, is not taxable. Interesting. How do you prove that to the IRS and get them to listen, Salty? Ooh, income tax is an option. Yeah, it's an FBI will listen to his speech in a black room. Yeah, just to be clear, IRS and anybody listening, I think you have to pay taxes. But it's very interesting to hear these theories. Like, I think they call them sovereign citizens or something like that. You don't go to jail. Who do you know that's ever gone to jail in the past 50 years? I've known a couple people. Not for taxes. I don't know anybody who's gone to jail for tax evasion. What are your thoughts on inflation and how would you advise someone to deal with it? I mean, that's a really good question. Are you allowed to change your job and financial status? I'm super confused by that question, Ryder. Yes? Let's go, Endless. All right, so my thoughts on inflation would be to, generally you have to invest your way out of inflation. If you're holding cash or cash equivalents, you're getting smoked by inflation. But if you invest it, you have the potential to earn more than inflation is losing value in your money. So they don't listen to me, but if you are, yes, if your phone is FBI agent here. Have you heard of FISA, Panda? Have you heard of FISA? I got a good question. How do you like your steaks? Medium rare. And it's actually probably closer to rare than to medium. Let's see here. What is happening? All right. No, I don't know what is FISA or whatever you said. I am not that much knowledgeable guy. Well, every country, not every country, a lot of countries have the ability to listen to foreigners due to their own laws. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Which top 3 books have made the most impact in your financial life? Yikes. The series? No, the CFP? I don't know. It's not real books. The Certified Financial Planner books were good. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing is the most important. But I'm going to have to really think about this. I don't actually have a good answer. Thanks, Panda. Your time working in the finance sector, who were some notable people that you possibly rubbed shoulders with? Well, I can't talk about any clients, but I was standing as close, hold on a second. I was standing as close to Tim Buckley as I am right now at work. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody I can... yeah, there's nobody. I can't talk about people's names and stuff like that. Had you stayed at Vanguard, what role would you have had progressing? I recall you started out as no. I did not cold call. Vanguard does not cold call. And I was not an ultra high net worth advisor. I was a high net worth advisor manager. I did work in the ultra space as like I did customer service and guidance and stuff like that. Super coveted role. I mean, I was in a pretty coveted role before I left as a high net worth advisor manager. But I don't know, if I were to keep progressing, maybe an ultra high net worth advisor manager, maybe a manager of managers. I'm not sure. It's a really good question. Did you meet Jeff or anyone who was like Warren Buffett? I spoke with people who had over $1 billion, but I didn't know who they were when I spoke to them, and I did not look them up to see what they did. So I don't know anybody like Buffett, because he's like one in a billion people. You know what I mean? Most recent movie you watched? I just watched a bit of Fences with Denzel, and it was good. I didn't know that James Earl Jones had done the play on Broadway before Denzel even did the movie. Interesting. I love James Earl Jones. So it was either Top Gun Maverick or Shot Caller. One of those two. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? Can I do MBA and get a job in Vanguard or BlackRock? There's more to it than just your degree, but the degree looks good on a resume. I will give you 1,000 if you can find a statute of regulation saying people that trade their time for money is taxable from the federal income tax. You declare your money as income when it is not. Interesting, Salty. How do we get this message out? And how do we get the IRS not to arrest us? It's a good question. How can I or someone kind of get into the career path you got into? It helps if you have a degree. Most of these places want you to have a degree and then some level of customer service. But a lot of them, if you just go for an entry-level role, Lucy, taking inbound phone calls, stuff like that, and then you work your way up. So if you have customer service experience, like before I worked at Vanguard, I worked at University of Phoenix. So they were like, oh, he was doing a phone job and now he wants to do a phone job, right? Thoughts on the tokenization of real world assets? Yeah, this is coming up with our debt, right? I don't know. I get it. I understand why people do it, but it's weird. It's another form of leverage, essentially. Call the IRS and ask them. I've done it many times and they cannot give you a statute. Okay, but Salty, what happens if I'm like, hey, you don't have a statute. I'm not filing my taxes. And they're like, cool, you're going to jail. I'm like, no, there's no statute. I don't know. Like, why did these famous rappers and actors go to jail for tax fraud, you know? How Billionaire Speaks. Like, do they have 100 girls? Panda, you would have never guessed. So I'm going to tell a story. This isn't $1 billion, but I was talking to a guy one time, and he was asking me questions, and he didn't come through. His account didn't come through, but he's asking me questions, and I'm telling him about how to invest and principles and stuff like that. And he goes, okay, can you do that for me? I was like, sure, let's pull up your account. Pull up the account, and he had $200 million. So a lot of these people are just regular people who did a lot of things right in their life. You know what I mean? Oh, Shot Caller is a super underrated movie. I watched that at my in-laws with my in-laws, thinking this is going to be ridiculous. It's got the guy from Game of Thrones in it. Like, this is going to be bad. It was awesome. It was awesome. I'm not talking about normal MBA, like top of my country, like I'm the best of all in India. You're the best person in India? Favorite financial movie? I'll save you many. Big Short, Wall Street, Insider Job. You know, Boiler Room is good. The Wolf of Wall Street is okay. Because I was in the industry, I didn't really watch these movies much. I would watch scenes from them. You know what I mean? Firecracker. I'm not even quite sure where to go with that question, Firecracker. Thoughts on the prospect of UBI? The only way UBI will work to me, crypto, is if automation has taken over. If automation has taken over things so much that wealth and money are no longer a problem for people, that's the only way I could see it. Otherwise, UBI is going to be tough. I mean, we do have some form of it with Social Security, but... Ooh, I need to make billion. I'd love to make a billion, but it's very difficult. You think it takes money to make money. I live in my car and it feels impossible to break out. So you need money to invest money for that money to then grow. But to get your first money, nah, you just need to be able-bodied, able-minded and bodied. I'm sorry to hear about your car stuff there, what you say. Hey, what's up, Blue Fox 350Z? Welcome. Let's see here. No. Is the college name? It's the best college for MBA average high salary. Okay, Panda, I like that. How can you give any advice when you know nothing about tax law? It's not that I know nothing about tax law, but I would bet you that almost every financial advisor that you ever spoke to, Salty, would say exactly what I just said about your claims. And yeah, and I'm also not a tax advisor. I'm a financial advisor. I'm doing well, Blue Fox. How are you? So if I ask $1 from everyone I message and pay 30 cents to government, can I keep the rest? I don't know the tax laws there, Panda. If you're in India, I have no idea what their rules are. Did you have the beard during your time at Vanguard? I did. I did have it during some of my time at Vanguard. I was growing it at the end. So I probably left Vanguard with it like this. Something like that. Like a year ago, I probably left like this. You need to make money to live, then think about make money to make money. Yeah, that's very true. What percent of income would you allocate for fun versus investing? So I think you should be investing 20% minimum. It should actually be higher. Yeah, they can ask anything. Let's see here. But there's not necessarily a percentage for fun. I just think you need to be budgeting for whatever you want to do. And after you are automatically saving towards your other financial goals, that's when you would look to start saving for fun. Help, I've fallen and can't get up. Yo, what happened, Lucy? What's your football team? It depends. I like the Florida Gators, Miami Dolphins, Arizona Cardinals. I kind of follow and support ASU. Interesting terms, Clyde. I don't know how much I want to get into this, but that is their political ideology, right? To conquer. What business that billionaire did to make the money? Man, this was like 12 years ago. I totally forgot. What he was doing. Something with tech, but I forgot. There was another guy who was a venture capitalist. What made you want to work in the financial sector? I grew up with a single mom. We didn't have much. She was terrible with money, and I wanted to help people like her. You know what I mean? How do I impress a girl I like? I don't even think you should even try, cartoonish. I think you should be friends with everybody. If you like that girl and you're not sure how she feels about you, are you sure you really know her? Right? Because if you become friends with somebody and like impressing isn't really a thing. Like nobody goes like, wow, that thing they just did is impressive. I want to date them. Just be friends with everybody with no expectations. And when it clicks, it clicks. Glasgow Rangers. What's that, Clyde? I love when people willingly come on here, ask questions, get an answer, all for free, by the way, to turn around and say, how dare you give me advice? Well, it's also, he's asking me about tax stuff, and I'm being very upfront that, hey, that's not my area of expertise. And he's like, shade. Venture capitalist is somebody who, sort of like an angel investor, they just throw money at something and eventually get paid back, or the company fails, something like that. Who will win? USA World Cup next summer. USA, Clyde, we're going to shock the world. We're not going to, for real. But I do think we are going to surprise people. I'm actually nervous or the chat is popping off, but in 5 minutes we're doing a watch party for my new video. I don't know how much you guys are down for this, but this is coming. Blue Fox, you disappeared on me. Now I'm ugly. I don't attract girl, so I make money because my Benjamin loves me, and I work for his base company called Verizon. You could still find somebody even if you are saying you're ugly. I'm telling you, your personality and being funny will get you further than just your looks, man. Is it true that venture capitalists are bad for the economy? I wouldn't know, but I heard. So we might be talking about two different things, right? A venture capitalist is, right, if I have an idea, I can go to a venture capitalist who will fund me with the expectation that I get them back. What you may be referring to, not venture capitalists, hold on. No! Where big corporations end up buying the small guys. What is this called? No! I taught Luke's nothing, but when I say let's date, they look at me like I am puke, so I give up. Private equity? Yes, there we go. Private equity, things like that. Because they kill the soul of the companies they get involved in. It's really sad. It's really sad watching a company get absolutely crushed. Yeah. So I don't necessarily have a problem with venture capitalists, but private equity is not my favorite. Thoughts on the carry trade and the theory of it possibly unwinding. All right, let me look up the phrase real quick. Want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Investment strategy that involves borrowing a capital in a low interest rate currency asset and investing. Oh, okay. So like when people take out a mortgage on their home and go and invest it, that sort of thing. I think for some people that could be good, but I think most people are going to get burned by that. Well, people think America is capitalist. We're actually, I forgot the term. I don't want to call it crony capitalism, but it's not true free market capitalism. All right, let me do this real quick. Let me do this. All right, you guys are all on portrait, so I don't know if you can... Oh, wait, yen carry trade? I would need to know more. Yen carry trade. Let's see here. I saw unwind. Oh, yeah. Is this because the rates are going up higher or whatever? Strategy. Like, because they were the last zero interest rate country, right? And now they're going up. So, well, what do you mean my thoughts on it possibly unwinding? It definitely could. But there's always ways that they soften the blow of these dangerous things they do. I don't know the right term for it, Panda. I don't know the right term for it. Also known as cronyism. Yeah, crony capitalism is the thing the internet talks about. Kind of. See, this is the problem, Panda. The government is very involved in all of these things. We don't have actually true market capitalism. All right, I don't know if you guys are ready for this. We're going to be watching my new video and giving some commentary on it, and then we'll get back to Q&A. This is a short video today, by the way, also. It's only 8 minutes. Hey, let's go. Let's go. But yeah, Panda, I don't know the specific terms, but it's tough, man. The government is is involved in more things, in my opinion, than it should be. If we're going to do that. Man, F1's coming in hot. F1's trying to get me banned. Woo! 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. All right, can you... F1 is definitely a funny dude. F1 is. I know it's because you guys are on the portrait. I don't know how to make it smaller. I mean, I could try this. Is that better? It's micro size now, yeah.
Welcome to Free Advice Guy. I'm Luke Halter.
Free Advice Guy.
We're back in Old Town Scottsdale, but tonight's going to be a little bit different. We're going to ask others to share their financial knowledge and wisdom, lessons they've learned along the way, to hopefully have conversations and maybe change your life.
Welcome to our new series. We're back in Old Town. I'm not saying this is the last time we will be back, but we have new locations coming soon. This night in Old Town was phenomenal. People we've met before came up to us. We had a life changed, and people really had solid advice of their own.
Can you guys hear everything?
Let's begin with one of the biggest talking points in our day and age.
Should
you go?
Don't look at it, Lucy. Don't look at it.
My question is, what's your take on college and college debt?
So I think it's actually hidden right here in the microphone. That one's just for you. I think college can be awesome, but you need to research your degree first. Right, if you go and spend $200,000 on
this is the most important part.
You're going to be making $40,000, $50,000 a year. You're going to be in debt forever.
Right.
So whatever degree you want to get into, make sure you research it so that you understand 10 years from now, 15 years from now, one, there's a job market, and two, you're going to be making enough money that it'll be worth taking.
It's really weird watching myself.
Payment, but hopefully that you'll be able to pay it off much faster.
Right. Okay, so what's your take on if the job market says that because I have a college degree, I'm kind of first in their list to get the job? What do you think about that?
There are certain jobs that a degree will get you in the door, right? Even if it's not in the right field. So I worked at Vanguard for 13 years. You'd see people with English degrees, chemistry degrees that had nothing to do with finance, but simply because they had a degree, they were eligible to apply. So in
this conversation is very interesting.
Alone will get your foot in the door. So yeah, it can definitely be beneficial just to have a degree. You just still have to be sure.
It's funny when people recognize it
and making sure it'll be worth it.
Yeah. So you think it's worth it to have college debt in order to be first in line to get a job?
She's trying to get me to answer very specifically,
right.
And I think I was frustrating her.
For a $40,000 job, maybe not.
She wanted me to say, yeah, get
first
debt.
in line for a six-figure job, then it could definitely be worth it, you know?
So what if it's something you love? So say I love teaching, and that's what I want to do, and I'm first in line for that job, but I make $40,000. Is that still good?
If you can keep the debt down, right? Because it's going to cripple you for a long time. To give you a very specific example, my dad went to X-ray tech school or something like that. He took out student loans, and then
get ready for the
he
drop.
paid them off when he was 50. You don't want to be in debt until you're 50, and then he died at 53. That, you know, he was in debt for the majority of his life for student loans, and you know, maybe he got to do something he enjoyed, but he had the stress of the debt and the pressure of the debt forever.
Really, just the fact that you had
really
a degree,
depends, right?
get them the job. Sorry, it won't get you the job,
as
but it will allow you to apply. Some jobs won't even let you apply without a degree.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're awesome. No, we needed that because we're both college.
Thank you. We're both in college.
Thank you.
If you ever want to talk, I'm Free Advice Guy, YouTube, Twitch, anything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm grateful to
All
be
right,
having these
that was a fun
conversations.
conversation.
Debt,
This next
especially
one
student debt
is
needs to
great.
make sense in order for you to take it on. Education is important, but you have to be smart about it.
At Free Advice Guy, our mission is to help millions of people achieve
Is
financial
my beard
literacy.
longer then?
If you'd like to join the mission, click the Patreon link down below for a free budgeting worksheet and
it's longer
exclusive
now.
community content and live streams. Together,
All right,
we will
sorry
help
about that.
millions of people achieve financial literacy.
I want to give a special shout out to our contributing Patreon members. Patreon is going to be the lifeblood of this mission. With your
Yeah.
help, we are
It's
going
tough,
to help
man.
millions of people achieve financial literacy.
Like,
Next
I
up,
get...
we have a gentleman who
Nah,
is
we can
a
talk about this
living
after.
testament to what financial literacy can do for you.
My man, I appreciate you stopping. I would love to know any lessons you've learned throughout life that could help anybody watching.
Yeah, of course. So
This is awesome, guys.
I grew
Listen.
up in Section 8 housing. My parents didn't make anything. So growing up, I was always taught like the valuable lessons of education and pursuing and furthering your education. So I did exactly that. I left high school, immediately started working on my education. I actually left high school with my associates.
Wow.
And so, you know, now where I am financially, I paid all my bills 3 months in advance. I have zero debt, and I honestly
pay
I pay
good?
off my credit
Paid
card
good?
every single week.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally principles I tell people to do.
Right.
Would you take it a step further and maybe tell me, like, what does your investing look like? Like, are you investing for the future as well?
I do invest, yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
stocks, bonds, retirement. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
So I kind of took a safer route. I invest in real estate.
He said, I
So
took a safer
own
route.
real
I
estate
invested in real
properties that I
estate.
invest in,
All right.
and of course that's passive income.
Yeah.
Which
There's
pays
a
the
lot of
majority my
risks
bills,
with
and
real
then
estate.
My job pays kind of the rest, and then the rest of that money is what I use towards savings.
Okay. So are you just stacking as much cash as you can, or do you plan to even make that work for you?
Actually, the plan right now is to pay off my parents' debt.
You might be the best guy I've ever talked to, man. That's real sweet of you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
of course.
So, do you have an emergency fund?
Yep.
Okay. How do you factor, or how did you decide how much of an emergency fund you wanted to have?
My emergency fund is enough to pay off the next 3 months worth of my bills, plus $1,000 for emergencies. So anything that could happen with my car, anything that could happen with the house, stuff like that.
Okay. Would you be open into unsolicited advice?
Sure. So,
All right. So
Yeah,
the
but there's
only thing
downsides
I
to
would
real estate
say to
too.
that is, I'm on the conservative side. I think about 12 months of basic living expenses are a good emergency fund to have, because if you lose your job or something catastrophic happens, you know you're covered for the next year. You don't have to take the first job available to you. You can wait to find the right job. I know some people think that's way too much cash sitting to the side, but 3 months, right? If you lost your job or something catastrophic happened, you're now on a 3-month window.
Yep.
And that's a little bit
The
scary.
moment you spend a
So,
dollar, you're at 2
if you
months
were to
and some
consider
change of an
anything or take
emergency
any advice
fund.
from me, it would be to maybe have a little bit more in an emergency fund so that you have peace of mind.
This is
I think it could be dependent on the person's situation.
For sure.
So I have really good job security. I know if I lost my primary job today, I could fill that position in like a month or two. And like I said, I already have passive income. So to me, that's what works for me. But
I
for
like
the
it.
average person, it could be 12 months.
Yeah, so the emergency fund is for peace of mind, and it sounds like you have peace of mind should something
I
catastrophic
like that
happen to you.
thinking.
You're
I
probably
do
gonna
real
be all right.
estate. I know the downside, but bro, it
Bye-bye.
feels
I really appreciate
good
your
when
time.
you sleep
Thank you so
and you
much.
make money.
Thank you.
So this is the end right here.
Section 8,
I ended up talking with this guy off camera for like
He's
30
paying
minutes.
off his parents' debt. What a cool story. Even if you're not starting in Section 8.
All right, that's
you
it, guys.
You can see victories in your finances that you couldn't even imagine. That's the mission. That's why we're here, to see you succeed. Thank you for watching, and as always,
We'll catch you in the next video. Man, I wish all the people watching here counted towards the views, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count. All right. Would you guys like Cat's Eye? Catsy? I don't know if it's Cat's Eye or Catsy, but okay. Let's switch back to. Pew. All right. Now the question is there anything you guys want to rehash, or you have questions on the video? We want to be like the mustache. I mean, he was smart about it, man. Talking with him was great. Coming from Section 8, he made all these decisions in his life to get himself ahead. His parents pushed him. That's just beautiful, man. Watch it later. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks, Crypto. I appreciate it. We're trying to change the world, baby. One conversation at a time. Okay, Lucy, for bonds, it all depends. You can go and buy an individual bond from a company or from the government or your municipality, whatever it is. You buy it at, okay, I'm going to start with the basics and then go, like, we're going to jump way ahead. But you buy a bond at par. Let's just say it's $1,000 and they're going to pay you 4% per year until that bond matures. So even if the price fluctuates, doesn't matter. As long as you hold it till maturity and it doesn't default, you get your money back. Well, the girl said, love what you do. Girl profession is to pay bills, not to make. Oof. That's tough. I understand where you're coming from, Panda, but if you don't like what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, I don't know how you don't get fried out on life. I close every credit card and every store card and have banned my wife and I from having any type of credit cards or payday loans at all. She thinks I'm too strict. What do you think? I think it can absolutely work, analyst, but you have to understand the pathways around it, right? I think it's called a manual underwriting for your loans, right? If you want to get a home loan. But otherwise, there's no problem living without credit. Right, but if it's a double-edged sword, because if you're smart with it, you can get rewards. If you're not smart with it, you're going to pay a lot in interest. Also, why people got to college really want to do what they love. Like people go to literature degree. Yeah, that's actually where I have an issue. Colleges give degrees that are worthless. That's worthless meaning in the marketplace. Nobody cares about your literature degree. And it's really hard to find a job. And now that person's $100,000 in debt without much job prospect. The guy you interviewed to you, did it sound like he received financial advice at some point in his life considering his financial decisions? Yes. We talked about it off stream. He was definitely guided some. He and I didn't align on certain things, but I could understand where he was coming from and why he felt the things he felt. So, one sec, guys. Man, sorry about that, guys. It's hard to find a job with a degree in theater or music unless you're like actually gifted and have potential before going to college. Agreed, Lucy. I think there are a lot of degrees that are similar. There's like a handful of degrees that by themselves, because of the degree they are worth something. A degree will get you like an opportunity to apply and all that at a lot of places. My college have like 60 students in my class. Wow. That's crazy, Panda. But yeah, there's I think people look at college differently or wrong. At what net worth does it start to make sense to hand over your financial management to an advisor? I don't think it's necessarily your net worth, Michael. There are 3 things you need to consider before handing your money over to a financial advisor. Just so you know, I don't manage portfolios, so I'm not trying to sell you here when I say this. But do you have the time? Do you have the willingness? And do you have the ability? If the answer is yes to all 3 of those, you don't have to hand it over. But if any one of those becomes a no, that's when you should consider handing it over for management. Thanksgiving was awesome, F1. I don't know if you heard or if I said this on Wednesday, but we did a New York strip roast. Oh, man. Sous vide'd it for 24 hours. Seared it up. Ooh! It was fire. But still, people go to Stanford Okay. There are times, the reason you go to a particular university, to me, there are schools that look great on paper and might get you, looked at differently. But for the most part, the real reason you go to university is to network. Build your network. People who leave college with zero network, like that's a neat experience or whatever, but I don't know, that's why these schools do this. You're like, oh, you went to Stanford as well? Yeah, come in. Let's have a talk. Do you have the time? Yes. Do you have the willingness? Yes. They have a money? No. Do you have a job? No. So first step, get a job. All but hard to get. Sorry, I'm saying this again and again, but job is must. It's true. What is the most secure way to receive yield quarterly? Well, what do you mean by secure, crypto? Because honestly, money markets, bond funds, things like that. Is sous vide steak underrated? Yes. I never had anything that was cooked like that. Of course, you still put it on the grill to get a crust, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so yes, Lucy, right, you know how when you're cooking a steak, it'll go from not cooked enough to overcooked in like 2 minutes? You don't run into that with the sous vide. So we sous vide it at 125 for 24, 36 hours, and then we sear it. We do either a cast iron, and we have I don't know if you ever heard it, but we have a flamethrower that can also put a crust on it. So I love it because when you're also sous videing, you could throw all your flavors in there, and then it's like, or your seasonings. It's so good. It's so good. Is there a way for me to get like 10% interest with minimum risk? Like we were talking, like really minimum risk? No. There is not, Panda. 10% risk-free rate is insane. Yeah, I appreciate you, Panda. A 10% risk-free rate is absolutely insane. That means your interest rates in your country have to be crazy high. Easiest way to become rich, marrying a rich woman. Yeah, or just anybody rich. Marry them, and you're rich. Although, we see... Never mind, I'm not going to bring that up. Akash Singh. Everything going on with him? Ugh. What is your realistic risk-free rate? Like right now, it's like 3 something. I think it might be 2 something actually. Top unis also have exclusive recruitment pipelines. That is very true. Certain universities have programs directly into Vanguard. So that happens everywhere. Lucy. All right, Lucy, coming in with a little more of your personality. Hey, listen, what it sounds like to me is that either she's really bad at humor and is like, my shtick is humiliating my husband, or he was lied to. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm 100% an American patriot. 100%. Here. My grandfather was a World War II vet. I was never going to be raised anything else other than a true patriot. Come on, F1. I'm a little bit connected to the to what's going on in the world. A little bit. So here, 1 second. If you know anything about the military, you'll know what this is. So this is my dad's folded. You know what? This is the first time I looked at this in a while. What is this? Interesting. There's stuff in here. Yeah. So this is going to be hard for you to see, but I'm going to show it anyway. This is my dad. I didn't really know him, but this was my dad. Wait. enlisted? Can you see the resemblance? Well, it's really funny, Lucy. This might be too serious for some people, but I didn't really know my dad. I saw him like 4 or 5 times in my life. But when he died, they gave him the I forgot what it's called, 21 gun salute or something like that. Do you got any hidden talents, Crypto? Hey, what's up, Davida? Hidden talents. I'm a gamer. Does that count? I could play basketball better than people think I could play. Hey, thank you. Rest in peace to Pops. But yeah, I didn't really know him. You know, I was raised by a single mom. What's crazy is he died the day before he was coming to see me. If my milk is $2, how much money do I have to go pay? This feels like a trick. I am not sure what you mean by that. $2, I think, is the answer. All right. Man, I have all my stuff put away. Oh, wait. For all of you Patriots, I'm going to show you something, but I'm not going to... Yeah, I'll show you. So I'm not going to pull this out, but can you tell what this is? Whoa. All right. So I've been told I can't pull that out of the sleeve or whatever, but that is the day before you're supposed to see him. It is what it is. I grew up with a single mom too. Yeah, dude. It was kind of wild. But anyway, that sword is from World War II. The story that was told to me was that the Japanese, when they surrendered, you didn't know if they were actually surrendering unless they gave you their sword. I'm not going to get into the full details of the story or whatever, but yeah, that's where that comes from. Yeah, I think it's you know what's sad is I think it's a military sword. I don't think it's a familial sword. If it was a family sword, I would actually look it up. But all the indicators on there that it's basic or that it's a military sword. But I do need to do more research on it. In terms of current real estate, it feels like a head fake in which it will drop and shake out some sellers. However, it will return to historic highs as it always has. In the long run, analyst, other than the last 5 years, if you look at a map of inflation or a chart of inflation and housing, houses have generally just kept up with inflation. There's nothing that adds value, right? Land becomes more valuable because there's less of it, but a house in and of itself, as weird as it sounds, is a depreciating asset. I have a cheap katana from wife's grandfather. He was pilot. Yo, that's real cool. Affiliated. So in the long run, Jedediah, give me 1 second. Yeah, there are many more options for the 9. I believe 30 years from now, we'll be at all-time highs for real estate. If you're trying to buy a home as your home, I don't think it necessarily matters when you buy. There are other factors that go into it, but just date alone. I don't think there's anything if it's your forever home. If you're looking for an investment, though, that's where the questions you're asking analysts are a little more... you need to have definitive answers on those questions. I'm trying to think, now that we're doing show and tell, what else? All right, I'm going to show you guys something random. This is not patriotic. This is not unpatriotic. Look at this pine cone. It's literally the size of my head. This is crazy. If it's back here, it looks smaller. Oh, now it's stuck to my shirt. Okay. Did I just ruin the shirt? It's very possible. But anyway, let's see. We got any other goofy stuff? Feel free to ask your questions. I'm just going to look for goofy stuff to show you guys. Let's see if we got anything fun. I don't know. It's pretty basic. Pretty basic stuff over here. Let's see. Let's see here. All right. I got nothing else in here. I will show you this. This is a piece of spine. It's from Vanguard. It's a one of those stress things. That's it. All right. It is an American pine cone, that's for sure. Dude, when I saw it on the ground, I was like, I have to own this pine cone. This is crazy. Eat the pine cone for Vanguard. What? That's true. I do have a tiny head. That's not true at all, actually. My head is rather large. Rather large. I think F1 is a low-key troll. Funny universe, all right. That is a super weird first chat, but okay. How old were you? Yo, what's up, Elk Slayer? How old were you when you noticed you were getting bald? Like 16? Maybe 17? I'll never forget this story. Wait, you can't see F1's comments? Interesting. So when I was in, I think it was my senior year, I was my teacher was up talking, and I had my hat on, but I was just kind of rubbing my hands through my head like this, and then when I like opened my eyes or looked down at my paper, there was just like hair on my paper on my desk. I was like, yo, what is this? I was like, I think I'm losing my hair. And I was telling my friends, I'm like, look at all this hair. And my teacher was like, Mr. Rance had this huge, thick, glorious head of hair. And he's like, I'm talking to my friends, telling them my hair's falling out. And he's like, Luke, what are you talking about? I'm like, I think I'm losing my hair. He's like, you're not losing your hair. You're too young for that. I walked up to him with the hair on my paper, and I'm like, this came out right now sitting in your class. And he's like, oh, yeah, you might be losing your hair. To be honest with you, you're not missing out on much. Yo, F1, they're coming for you, bro. They're coming for you, F1. Chat wars. Chat is a unique experience. I, for one, like F1's contributions to everything. Okay, so then I have one more story. 1 year later, I'm going to get a haircut or whatever, and I'm 19. I'm either 18 or 19. I think I'm 18. So I'm sitting getting a haircut, and I'm like, I think I just want to keep it short because I'm going bald. And she's like, you're not going bald. What are you, like 26, 27? I'm like, oh, I'm 19. She's like, oh yeah, you're probably going bald then. Yeah, I mean, he was talking about, he said that's a big pine cone or a small head. Let's see what else we got. He laughed at me bringing up Akash. Oh, but he did talk about top unis have exclusive recruitment pipelines into top hedge funds, tech firms, everywhere, which is absolutely true. I think F1 comes in and has a good time. He's not here for a long time. He's here for a good time. You know what I mean? And that's okay. So I've noticed also, Lucy, I don't know where you are in the world. I imagine USA, but I get a lot of people from India in the chat. I would say outside of America, India's got to be at least one of the people who comment the most. Why take advice from somebody I'd never want to be? Is there anybody on the planet you actually want to be? I don't know what name, 4200. There's literally nobody on the planet I would rather be than me. So that's weird. That doesn't actually answer my question. Who else would you rather be other than you? I notice a lot of people from India in live YouTube chats. No disrespect. I think it's just because they have a big population. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Billion plus people. It's a big audience. Yeah, I just wonder if YouTube, for some reason, pushes me in India. Motivational mindset. Hey, just needing some advice on where I can find fish with no teeth and a big bout. I'm not going that. You're looking for noodling, motivational. You're looking for noodling. You've seen those videos of Indian people making food right, crazy. I want to be careful. Have you been down to Mexico? I think any street food has the opportunity to be not hygienic. You're just hoping that the cooking kills everything. But hey, for anybody new here, I'm a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional. Worked at Vanguard for 13 years. Quit my job to help millions of people master their finances. If you got questions, let me know. I cooked him, huh? I don't know. Wait, so is anybody a fan of Cat's Eye? You've got questions? I've got answers. Well, there's some questions I don't have answers to. Although I guess I do have an answer to every question. Sometimes the answer is, I don't know. Yo, bro, I was scrolling the V-Shorts and found your channel again. Let's go, Panda. What's the worst depreciating asset you commonly see? Do you mean in life? It's a car. A lot of people spend a lot of money on cars that are unnecessary. What would be the point of life if everything was good? Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Yes, crypto. I am a God-fearing man. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. So I think the other thing, Panda, if you just lived, imagine you grew up. Why poor exists, rich exists, why God doesn't save them. I mean, if you have, this is part of the issue is mentality, Panda. We think things are bad. The only God I fear is Jerome Powell. See, this is what I'm talking about. F1's got the humor. If everyone stopped looking at their phones and comparing what they have to other people, a lot more people would be way happier, right? Like, all you need is food, water, and shelter. If you have those things, everything else is a bonus. But that's not how we view life. That is not how we view life. He didn't respond, and I got job, studied hard to reach this spot. That's when I called when I was hungry. He said nothing. Well, I mean, you called on to God and then your life improved, no, Panda? Isn't that what you just told me? Alrighty, one sec. My chat windows just disappeared. There we go. You said you were a gamer. What games are you playing? Xbox, PSN, or PC? I am a PC gamer. I have been a PC gamer since I was like 14 years old, which is kind of wild. Right now, I would say Rivals or Valorant. Though I do, that's it. And right now, it's zombies. That's really all I'm playing is zombies on Rivals right now. But I also play Valorant and stuff like that. But good things happen. Saying all the trouble to someone who can. Yeah, it's tough, man. God's not Santa Claus. You know what I mean? We were never promised an easy life. Yo, let's go. What games do you play, Panda? This is very interesting. Oh. PC build specs. I have... One sec. GeForce 4070 Super. Ryzen 7800X. 64 gigs of RAM. G Pro Superlight 2 mouse. Wooting 60HE keyboard. What am I missing? That sounds like everything, no? I played Minecraft, GTA, Fortnite on my board. I do have kids. I am a public figure now, Panda. I don't really get to hide too much. Did you hear that Steam is creating their own console? Really? I've never been a PC gamer, always been Xbox. Yo, that would actually be kind of big. It would either, I think Lucy would either do well or it would flop. One of the two. Panda, I'd raid you for all of your diamond on Minecraft. No hacks needed. Solid build, grats. Depreciating asset though, it 100% is. But I need it for my business. My previous PC before this one, which I'd had for years, actually crashed on me. I've never had a PC actually just shut down on me. It shut down on me. I couldn't do anything on it. It was wild. And then if it would turn on, I would just be like sitting there and then it would restart. I was like, But you know, it was an old computer, so we got this bad boy. This is over a year old now, though. I wouldn't say I'm famous, no, Panda. But because I put myself out, available into the public, there's not really much I can hang. Oh, Fallout. I loved the OG Fallouts. I have not played a Fallout in a while. Do you like the new Fallouts, Lucy? I thought about it, but yeah, I just didn't want to waste the money. Don't go John Wick on me now. I need to try Fallout. What game is it? I heard about it. What do you mean, what game is it? Any lessons that have stuck from your time in corporate America? Yes. I think something I learned early on in my career, I didn't talk to anybody. I would walk in. Fallout is a, I don't know, third person, like RPG. But I would come into the office. I would crush my job. I would do it better than hopefully everyone else. But I wasn't meeting people. I wasn't networking with people. So I would go to apply for jobs. People are like, who is this guy? He looks good on paper, but who is he? So being friendly with everybody and talking with everybody is a big deal. That's a big one. And also just walking down the halls, you'd rather be the guy who smiles and nods, hi, morning, hello, than the guy who just walks by people. Why left job if paid good? Panda, there came a point in my life where pursuing changing the world became bigger than the consistent paycheck. You work hard and you only get more work. Yeah, that's true in the corporate world. It never ends. But then again, when does work ever actually end? When are you ever actually done with anything? Whether it's your business, corporate job, anything. So if I come to interview to your position, will you ask me what you expect from me? Like if you were trying to interview for an advisor manager role, or tell me more. Can I ask if what you're doing right now is doing okay financially, like YouTube, social media? Lucy, you can absolutely ask, and the answer is no. I make zero money. Now, to be fair, I only really, my wife, I'm going to give you the whole backstory. So we started Free Advice Guy in August of 24. I didn't know what I was doing. So at that point in time, I was just streaming. I had no way of like getting people in contact or talking to people or anything like that. But then I worked. And then earlier this year, we decided to start making content, but we didn't know how frequent we wanted to make it. So we shot a video in February and then kind of chilled out. And then we shot another video again in May. And then since then, we've been consistently putting it out. But my wife and I had a baby. My wife had a baby, however you want to look at it, in July. So then I ended up taking off like a month and a half of streaming. So it kind of feels weird to say. I've only been really back in the grind for like a month. But to answer your question directly, zero. I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. We need to get those views to pop. And yeah, viewership's probably not high enough on streaming yet. Pursuing a PhD in neuroscience. I'm currently a PhD student. I have 6 more years to go. After, my plan is to work in industry a few years, go back and get my MBA, then work as management at these firms. Okay. Hey, thanks, Ismail. What sort of questions you got there? I mean, your plan sounds good, but how much student debt are you going to be in after this, Ismail? How do you get a girlfriend? Journey, don't look for one. You should be friends with everybody. Like, I think what happens is we look at somebody, we build them up in our head, and then we don't get to look at them objectively anymore because you have a crush. You want it to work out. Instead, be friends with everybody, no expectations, wait for them to show your true self, decide if you like them. It'll be obvious they like you. Go from there. Hey, me too, Lucy, me too. But we're just getting started, man. I made a huge mistake when I first started this. My very first video, if you go to my videos on YouTube, my very first video is my most viewed video, but it's because I sent it to all my friends and family. That actually severely hurt me moving forward. Don't look for one girl, look for many, so you get one. Thanks, Sensei. Do you prefer to pee or poo? I think it depends on how I feel. And so you're the face and your wife is behind the scenes camera work. So my wife doesn't actually... I have my buddy Richard who films us. Josh, you keep deleting your stuff, man. What is that? I keep wanting to see what you say and you delete it. But she does cut up the majority of my clips. But I actually go out with Richard, my buddy Richard from Integrity Films, and he records everything. If you like TwitchCon at all, we did a bunch of interviews at TwitchCon as well. Okay, Free Five Guy. Ooh, what's that mean? Hit me, Journey. Free Five Guy. All right. How to make friends with people in workplace. I worked remote so far and kind of feel feral. Do you still work remote? Because it's really tough in a remote site, but it all depends on how open and vulnerable you want to be. Like, hey, guys, if you see some people chatting in your, I don't know, see if anybody wants to do a happy hour. All right, I'm $10,000 in debt. I took loans that don't accrue interest just to pay rent during undergrad. I make $40,000 a year during my PhD, and I plan to pay for the MBA in cash and not take out loans. Okay, I like it. What questions you got, Ismail? I don't want to just rattle off stuff, and you're like, I don't need to know any of that. How do you think you can improve your marketing in the near future for your channel? That's a good question. We recently upped the amount of clips we're putting out, a consistent posting schedule. But to be honest, I don't know, Joshua. I am not good with marketing. I talked to Seth, he's messing it up. All right, as long as that's the reason. Abdullah, I end up ordering food a lot. That affects my budget the most. How can I overcome that? I'm not addicted, but I always end up ordering food and I regret after every order. Buy groceries, pre-make food. That's one suggestion. Budget for what you want so you know how much you could spend. Then you have to live through it, right? It's all disciplined, Abdullah. There's no magic to it. It's all discipline. That's it. Just learned there was a call called NostalgiaCon. Imagine all the... Dude, where is that, Lucy? I'd go. Well, what is your opinion on my career plan? It's about 14 years of schooling. The salary outlook is amazing. Do you feel the years to salary is good? I don't think it necessarily matters years to salary, Ismail, especially since you're making something now. And if the salary is good later, not that you can make up for time lost, but you can increase the amount of savings and start saving more. So it is a long time. My main concern with your plan was the debt, but you said you're not really getting into that much debt for it, if that makes sense. I would think long form vids are good, but I bet if you got the YouTube shorts pumped out, you get a lot of traction. So we do get a decent amount. Here, let me, I have no problem sharing this information. Hold on a second. All right, so in the last 28 days, we've had 165,000 views and 956 hours of watch time. And that is from both shorts and long form. I did not edit them. My man Richard at Integrity Films edited them. He is the man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Pre-made food, by that you mean do once a week. Yeah, or like do it even if it's just 2 to 3 days in advance. Right? Like think about a food that sounds good that day and then it'll sound good for the next couple of days. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Well, the shorts. She only does the shorts. You and Richard is the man. I agree. than you are. Subs are less. My other concern is family. I'll be 30 when I finish my PhD. I want to get married, have children. All my friends I know who are professors or senior analysts, and their children are young. So, hey, it's all good, F1. People were calling you out earlier. They're asking questions about you. Let's say that. So, Ismail, I didn't have my first child until I was 35. I have 4 kids. Oh, Panda. Yeah, the number of videos is skewed because of live streams and all that sort of stuff. And also, if you look at my early content, it was different. So, we'll get there. The OG, welcome. Yeah, sure, Ismail. Yeah, I like being an older dad, by the way. I don't want to be too old, but I like being an older dad. I have a lot more patience now than as a 25-year-old. I'm going to subscribe so I can catch you again. I dig it, Ismail. Thank you so much. I dig it. For anybody new who doesn't know, I'm a free financial advisor. I'm a certified financial planner professional. I worked at Vanguard for over 13 years, and I quit my job to help millions of people master their finances. Let's see here. What is this? Sorry, give me one sec, guys. Need to look at something real quick. How am I missing this? There it is. All right, let's see here. I grill out a lot of chicken for dinner with sides, then us leftover chicken to make chicken quesadillas or chicken Alfredo. Love it. I'm out of questions, so I'm going to go AFK. I appreciate you, Panda. We have about 6 minutes left of this stream. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Was there ever a time where you felt like you carried some of your clients' financial troubles on your conscience? Like similar to a therapist? Yes. Yes, Crypto. This is crazy because this is 10 years ago and I still think about it. I still think about this vividly. So we can either look at, I don't know what to call it, the COVID crash, or just back in 2015, there was like a slight downturn. What time is it over there? Which time zone? I think we're mountain right now. I'm in Arizona, so we don't change. It is 10:54 here, 10:54. So, man, I'm trying to think of which story. They're both entertaining for their own reason. I'm going to go with the March of 2020. I talked to a bunch of clients. I'm a manager at this point, right? I'm not client facing anymore, but I got on the phone and talked with a bunch of clients who were tripping out about what the market was doing and all that. I talked to this one lady for like an hour and a half, and she said, "Okay, Luke, I'm not going to make any changes to my portfolio now. I'm going to talk to you in 2 weeks and see what we need to do from there." I'm like, great. So I was real excited. The next day, she sold out of everything. And then I don't know if you know what happened towards the end of March of 2020, but the market started doing this. Yeah. So I carried that for a long time. I had another guy. He was invested in one particular fund. I'm sorry, one particular fund. It wasn't very diversified. So we talked about what to do to be more diversified and still have him comfortable with his portfolio. And I convinced him to go like the full market approach. And, we had a good time. And then I forgot what it was. Like, he waited like a week or two because the fund that he was in, which I believe was healthcare, was, it performed better over that like 2-week period. So he went back into it. And then right after that, the healthcare tanked. So it's times like those where, as a financial advisor, I don't feel like I'm doing my job if people don't listen. If I communicated, I had a conversation with you, and you still decided to do the bad thing, I should have done a better job of convincing you not to. How to grow a beard like yours. Man, I'm just blessed, right? It all the follicles fell from here to here. You know what I'm saying? No, I happen to be fortunate. My dad was bald, but he had a fat beard. I'm bald with a fat beard. Just how it is, man. Just how it is. Hey, and for anybody watching, I do have a free Patreon. It's truly free. It comes with a free budget spreadsheet. Link is in the description. We do private community Q&As there, where I step out a little bit further than in these streams. We also have weekly market recaps, normally on Saturdays, but tomorrow I'll actually be filming a video all day tomorrow and Sunday. So I am looking forward to that, but we'll be shooting videos, a new video tomorrow and Sunday. Yeah, baby. Yeah. For the first guy, I told him to be more broadly diversified. For the lady, I told her to stay the course. The guy did not stay diversified, and the girl did not stay the course. I think about them still. I actually have a handful of conversations that live rent free in my brain. Do you make like tails with your beard? Tails? Like Vikings? Like a braid? I have done a braid. I don't do it often, but I have done a braid. Yeah, I really should. I should actually go to sleep. I didn't even know these things existed, but they have beard wraps that will keep it right, boom, 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 all the way down for when you sleep. When you were at Vanguard, did you have access to some sort of insider info that allowed you to have a better foresight on the markets and their movement? No. Vanguard was probably the most clean company that you could imagine. They weren't going to do anything anti-compliance or anything like that. So, I've heard guy with longest beard died after tripping from his own beard. Yeah, that's actually kind of sad. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, there was no insider information or anything like that. I never even once heard of a rumor from somebody through somebody, like friends who worked in corporate actions and knew things might be coming down or whatever was going on. Nothing. It's not to say people didn't talk, but I never heard it. Yo, what's up, Archangel? I'm about to call it a day, my brother. I am about to call it a day. What do you do for work? Barun, I am free advice guy. This is what I do for work. What was your thoughts about the markets during 2020 crash? I mean, it's the same thing as it is today or it is in the future. I believe the market's going to be significantly higher 30 years from now than it will be today. and that we shouldn't be worried about market movements today unless you need that money soon. That's generally how I look at the overall markets. All right, guys. I am probably going to call this here. Are there any other thoughts or questions that you guys have? I'm begging you, hands off Gabriella. Gabriella, back off, Gabriella, la la. Back off of my fella. All right. Thanks, man, for the session. Absolutely. So I normally stream on Saturday as well. Hey, I appreciate you, Crypto. I normally stream Saturdays, but because we're shooting a video tomorrow, I won't do it. How do you become a good YouTuber? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, Shannon. I'm trying to figure it out. I have all the content in the world if people want to watch, but I'm trying to be, entertaining, educational, helpful. So I'm still working on it. All right, Hudson. I'm still, if you figure it out, let me know. But sorry, I normally stream on Saturday. I won't be streaming this weekend on YouTube, but I will be streaming on Twitch tomorrow. I'll be live streaming, shooting the video tomorrow on Twitch. Free advice guy on Twitch if you guys care. So we'll figure all that out. But Hudson, I'm out of here. I hope you have a great day. I hope everybody has a great day. And we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye.